Intent on dreaming up a bankable new character, and one they would own, Disney's skeleton team scoured popular magazines for inspiration, bounced ideas off one another, and drew figures on their sketch pads until something began to emerge. Pear-shaped body, ball on top, a couple of thin legs, Iwerks later explained. You gave it long ears, and it was a rabbit. Short ears, it was a cat. With an elongated nose, it became a mouse. Walt suggested they name him Mortimer. Lillian thought that was terrible and came up with Mickey. As with Oswald, Ub took charge of the mouse's look. Walt gave him his personality. Disney was unable to find a distributor willing to take a chance on his first 2 Mickey shorts. But Walt refused to give up on his mouse. At a meeting with Roy one day, as the tiny staff worked up a third and still unsold Mickey Mouse cartoon, Walt suddenly blurted out, "We'll make them over with sound."
How can I do something better with animation than what everybody else is doing? He's always the person looking for new technology. He's always the person trying to find the newest invention to make animation better.
At the time, producing a soundtrack in sync with and music that makes sense with the action on screen is very difficult. This was a very precise and intricate process that Disney had to think through. And also it's unclear that the money it costs to make a sound film can possibly pay off with tickets sold.
Disney saw no good option but to take the chance. He headed back to New York and signed a quick deal with the licensor of one of the most advanced sound systems in town. Walt didn't have enough money in the bank to pay for the recording sessions, so he wired Roy to do whatever he had to get the cash. He told his brother to sell his beloved Moon Roadster if needed. Stuck in New York to oversee the sound work, Walt trolled desperately for a distributor. He carried his reels from one office to another for 3 long months and came up empty. He did manage to secure a 2-week run at the Colony Theater, Broadway and 53rd. Steamboat Willie premiered on November 18, 1928. The crowd at the Colony Theater was in thrall. People had heard sound in pictures before, but never like this. The music and sound effects were part of the gags. "It knocked me out of my seat," one New York reporter wrote. A few audiences begged the projectionist to delay the start of the feature and rerun Steamboat Willie.
Steamboat Willie was such a huge hit, and it gave Disney Studio really sort of a preeminence, where suddenly this company is now like taking a step to the front ranks. This upstart from the West Coast just erupts in the middle of everybody with this amazing character.
Mickey was a multi-talented charmer, a dancer, a comedian, a singer. And within months, never mind he was just a cartoon, Mickey Mouse was the newest Hollywood celebrity. While the country slid toward economic disaster in 1930, the fame of the Disney mouse just kept growing. as did Mickey's standing as the archetype of the American can-do spirit.
Walt Disney was certainly not a social theorist. He certainly didn't think through the problems of the Depression. But what Disney did do was to have a kind of instinctive, impulsive feel for the problems and the hopes of ordinary people.
There's always mishap. There's always sort of the slapsticky bit that interferes with his success. And then he triumphs and he wins at the end. And he usually gets the girl, too.
Fan mail for Mickey Mouse poured into the studio on Hyperion Avenue, with postmarks from across the United States, from England, Spain, the Philippines. Some were addressed to Mickey, some to Walt.
Mickey is understood as being the creation of Disney, and Disney is understood as being the father of Mickey, and combined, that makes for a kind of international stardom that we really hadn't seen before.
When everybody else is suffering, Walt Disney is selling consumer products and making millions of dollars out of Mickey Mouse. And that's a huge story that this little mouse turns into the future of the Walt Disney Company.